All right, so I just wanted to talk to you real quick about your prep leading into the Arnold, right?
Yeah.
We are now, what, less than a week?
Yeah, it is Monday, hop on stage on Saturday.
Less than a week to go, and you have been prepping for this since?
Maybe 10 weeks.
10 weeks?
Oh, he does lower my protein, and it gives me more carbs. Oh, it's heavy.
But he's got more tissue and he's got more in the right places. His biceps are particularly bigger this go around. His back is bigger, not that was the goal. His hamstrings are bigger, which was a big goal. And he's near perfect physique in my opinion.
This prep in particular, I feel like, has been one of the harder preps. I mean, you've faced a lot of adversity now.
Yeah, I think, definitely. You know, John passed away. When Matt passed, that was in the off season, so a little different. Also had surgery leading into this prep, but yeah, it was definitely a different experience for sure.
Talk to me a little bit about like where you were at in your head though, because that's what I've been really curious about. Like I can tell you're obviously working through a lot, you know, like of course that's tough stuff to process, like everything you just mentioned. And I think what people really want to figure out is like, okay, in spite of, you know, those adversities, you still have managed to do the work and get it done, and you're looking better than ever in my opinion. And I think it's a testament to whatever quality it is that of yours that you're tapping into, because you know that's difficult. That's a real challenge. You've really pushed yourself, I feel. I don't know, you tell me.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, definitely, but I mean, I think the difference between like myself and say just the average person who works a 9 to 5 and then also bodybuilds is, you know, when they have, it's kind of the same, you know. People, you know, I took like a week off from my prep pretty much to kind of just relax and stuff and just kind of take a second to myself, and then I got back on track the same way this is my job, same way anyone does. I mean, you don't just quit working because you have bills to pay and you have people to provide for and a roof. You like living in a house. So yeah, no, I see, you know, a lot of bodybuilders, they don't see this as a career, as a job. Even in the professional ranks, there's a lot of guys that don't still see being a bodybuilder as potentially a career, and that's where I think I differ. Whereas I know, like, even though it's tough and it sucks or whatever, I gotta get this done because I got goals.
So I think it's interesting you say that because you are at a point now where this is your career and you're able to pretty much do this, you know, full time. Like I know you do some coaching and things like that, but obviously, you know, bodybuilding is your main thing, you know, and you get to focus on it. Yeah. Do you think that maybe the love for bodybuilding or whatever it is that got you into it has faded into the background a little bit, and now you're kind of doing it out of responsibility? Or are you still doing it because I want to be the best in the world, you know?
A bit of both, honestly.
A little bit of both?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a little bit more serious now, but I still enjoy it. I still keep up with new pros who are coming up. I still keep up with the shows. I still keep up with all that. A lot of guys like who take it only as a job. Like, let's say maybe like Sun Rayz. He's a great guy, but he doesn't know any of the classic guys. I mean, I remember, I think the last Olympia, all he did was talk about Brian Jones's hair.
Yeah,
you know? So
the commentary was not great.
Yeah. So I think I have. It's a healthy balance for me, but yeah, it's definitely a little bit different now.
I figured. What does that do to your workouts? You know, what does that do to your meals? What does that do to your stretching? Are you like, is it kind of more of like a push to yourself more often than not now, or is it kind of habitual? You're not even thinking about it, or you know, like is there any thought put into that kind of stuff? Is it a struggle at all?
The diet isn't a struggle at all. Not one bit. My biggest fear is showing up on stage out of shape. So, you know, it's not. I don't have any issues with that. Training, I definitely take training very, very seriously. A lot of guys, like, I don't like to work out with just anybody because I think each workout I have is important. You know, you work out. Let's say you work out a body part once a week. That's not many workouts in a year that you get. And I'm really strict. So like, if someone's gonna work out with me, they're gonna do my workout because I have certain things I need to build. You know, if they want to join me, that's most of the time okay. But I'm not just gonna do something random just to train with someone. Even when I train with Chris, we stick pretty closely to my training split over his. So yeah.
Talk to me about your circle. Talk to me about the people around you. Talk to me about your training partner, your coach, talk to me about that. Like what role does that play right now in your prep?
My coaches and everything that I've had, they've always been like the past two, John and Matt have been like Matt like a big brother, John like a father figure. I just liked just everything about him. Maybe I didn't have a father really growing up, so maybe that was kind of why I gravitated towards him more. Joe's also the same way. He's a very good dad, very good husband. It's really, really cool. Also, I'm not gonna just get with someone because of that. That's definitely very important, but they gotta know what they're talking about for sure. I don't mess around with people that don't know what they're doing. Very, very quickly, I'll just leave if I find out the person isn't like knowledgeable or they're just BSing me.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of people. Yeah, I stay pretty. I realize that I'm realizing that I'm even more introverted than I thought. I definitely like my quiet time, but definitely I think once I have like like 1 to 3 people, that's who I hang out with, and I can't handle anymore most of the time. That's enough. But yeah, I got you, I got Rachel, and you guys are great, man. Yeah, I do what I can. Yeah, I know I'm not perfect, but I try my best to helping them where I can if people need it. My mother, she's coming to the Arnold. That's awesome. I'm happy that I'm finally in a financial situation where I can actually pay for her to come now, and she doesn't have to spend all this money to see me on stage for like 5 minutes.
That's awesome.
So, no, that's pretty much my circle.
So I know you are a little more introverted, you do like your alone time. When do you feel you need some sort of interaction, or when do you feel you find value or in interaction or companionship in some activity or?
When do I feel? I don't know, it's not like a specific instance or anything. I can go to the movies by myself, or I can go with somebody. Same thing, I can go eat by myself, or I could go with some. It's just how I feel that day. I was like, I think I want to go invite someone to eat or go out to eat. Some days I want to do that, some days I don't. Yeah, I definitely like to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a specific instance, but I do get have times where I do want to do things alone together.
Yeah. Anything different about this Arnold prep in terms of like the execution of or not really the execution, but I guess the variables like your inputs in your diet, your exercises, sets, reps, etc. What's different from the last Arnold prep to this Arnold prep? Is there a lot? Is it completely different? Is it kind of the same?
John and Yesin are very different. Even though Yesin learned a lot from both of my men. That's how I met Yesin. I met him at Matt Porter's booth at the Arnold in 2017, I believe, or 17, 18, and probably 2018 actually. And yeah, like I said, even though he's learned from them, he's a lot more meticulous or a lot stricter than John is for sure. But I kind of like it. I mean, I kind of, well, I don't know. I like the John's method too. I like eating whatever I wanted to eat, just fitting the macros for the most part. But I don't mind Yes method either, just because I know what we're doing is gonna help me be the best on stage. If John wanted me to be more strict, then I would have been fine with that too, because I spent a lot of time with Matt, and Matt was very strict as well. I know even when I got like the 1 or 2 cheat meals on my prep, he would tell me he would tell me exactly what to eat and how to eat it. Like, go have, and it was always a Subway, double turkey meat, no cheese, no mayo. So, that's the difference in that. Let me see. Workouts. I'm still with Joe. I've been with Joe. Pretty much the first workout we had was pretty close after my first win at Tampa. So I think that's where he first saw me. Took him about a year to write me a program before he felt like he could write me a program.
Wow.
And then another, maybe, what was that, 17. And another year after that another year and a half, 2 years before we trained together consistently. His methods haven't really changed. The split changes here and there based on what he thinks I need to improve on a bit more. And we always agree on what I need to improve. It's pretty straightforward. I do like this new split. I've learned a lot over the years from him. I think out of all the knowledge I have, I probably know the most about training. Just because I'm with him every single day. You know, I hear him every day talking about stuff. So, training's pretty much the same. Just getting stronger. It's the only difference, I guess. Yeah.
Well, you say new split. I mean, what's the difference between the split? Was it the same split?
The goal is the same, but a little less shoulders, I guess. That's it. So my last Arnold Classic split, it was shoulders, back, chest, rest, legs, arms. And I had arms on the chest and back day, so still emphasis on arms. And then now it's pull, push, which is all, I have arms on those days, and then rest, and then legs, reverse pull, reverse push, which is even more emphasis on arms. So just a different way, just the same cat, just skinned a different way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I do remember at one point you were doing calves almost every day. I don't see that anymore.
Huh, yeah, I think we just neglected them a bit. We haven't been doing them recently, but we do them at least like 2-3 times a week still. Yeah. So a little less frequently.
Is there a difference in your attitude?
From this prep to last prep.
Or maybe going into this Arnold versus going into the last one?
Last time I was definitely a lot more motivated. I felt like I had a lot more to prove coming off being gone a year, placing 9th at the previous Olympia, dropping from 6th to 9th. I felt like I had a lot to prove for myself, honestly. Was this time off, like, was it useful? Was it a waste of time? Am I gonna look the same? Am I gonna do better? Did everyone else just keep improving while I took time off? This year, it's a little different. It's more, a little less of that. But now it's like, man, I gotta be able to hold this spot. If I don't win the Arnold, then that doesn't look good going into the Olympia. Stuff like that. So it's a little bit different now. It's more about, I like Chris. Chris talks about pressure is a privilege. I think he's got a lot of good sayings, man. He's got a good head on his shoulders. So, there's definitely a little bit more pressure this year to do well and perform. I didn't have any pressure, previously, but that's the biggest difference. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more. Even now, I guess I have to prove that. Some people think it was a fluke or whatever that I played second at the Olympia or this or that. So I still got stuff to prove. I feel like I always got to prove myself, but I guess that's sports for you. Yeah.
How do you feel about your physique?
I'm happy with the improvements. I definitely want to make more. More improvement. I think I can improve a bit more. I have room to grow still. Yeah. So I think this upcoming season, I'm really motivated to put on some size this off season. I have a better head on my shoulder of what I need to do after a show. I wish I would have listened to myself last year where I wanted to take some time off as a break. I didn't. I just kept going, and it kind of burnt me out the entire off season. I just kept going, but I just wasn't into it. I felt beat up and everything. So, yeah, this year, yeah, I'm just more motivated to improve.
How far away do you think you are from your very best?
Well, Yesen says I can put on another like 5 pounds, so 5 pounds for my best till I reach that limit. And that sounds, honestly, I think maybe I'm like 178 today. So honestly, maybe a little bit more than 5 pounds because we're not really gonna deplete. So maybe like 7-8 pounds.
I don't know. Any final thoughts on the Arnold? Any final thoughts on your prep? Like,
yeah, it's a lot. I think honestly, it's kind of weird how this goes now. Obviously, the Olympia is important and it's the most prestigious show, but this show has the most meaning for me now. I mean, both times I've had coaches, you know, we plan to do the show, and before we get to it, they pass away. So this one is definitely a lot more emotional each and every year. This show means a lot. So, really hoping to do well.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was good stuff. That's what I wanted.